Okay, guys. Now let us study about the root locus plot. Root locus problem number one. Okay. So problem number one. You have determined the sketch the root locus for negative feedback system whose open loop transfer function is given by g of s h of s is equal to k divided by s into s plus 3 s square plus 3s plus 4.5. Okay, first we have to look at the open loop poles when k is equal to 0 and open loop zeros when k is equal to plus or minus infinity on the s plane. First is you have to take z by p. As I told that if you have any s values in the numerator you can determine the zeros. When you have the s values in the denominator you can determine the number of poles. Here you can see that in this problem we don't have any s value in the numerator, so number of zeros is equal to 0. Number of poles, you can see that s is a simple pole, you can determine the value of s easily. S plus 3 is a simple pole, but s square plus 3s plus 4.5 is a complex pole. That will here we will get the both the real part as well as the imaginary part here. Okay, so that s is equal to 0 1 pole, s plus 3 you write first, that is z by p. S is equal to 0 1 pole, s plus 3 is equal to 0 1 pole, s square plus 3s plus 4.5 is equal to 0. So s is equal to 0 1 value, s is equal to minus 3 plus 3 if come inside minus 3, s square plus 3s plus 4.5 is equal to 0. You have to determine that in the calculator. Go to calculator, in the calculator equation 1 type number degree as 2. So ABC value, a is 1 coefficient, b 3 and c is equal to 4.5. Then you will get the first value as minus 1.5, that as x1, that is real part. In order to determine the imaginary part you give shift equals, so you'll get the imaginary part. I 1.5 will get to write j 1.5. Again you'll get x2 value minus 1.5. Again you are giving the shift equals, you'll get minus j 1.5. So there are four important number of poles: 0, minus 3, minus 1.5 plus j 1.5, minus 1.5, minus j 1.5. Next you have to determine the number of branches and its direction. Step number 2. Here you can see that number of poles are greater than that of z, so that the 4 is greater than that of z. Okay, number of branches which are terminating at infinity, that as I told that q is equal to p minus z. 4 minus 0 is nothing but we can take it as 4. Okay, next let us move on to step number 2. After that you are determining that number of branches, so you have to determine what is the starting points. As I told that poles, we have the four values of the poles will be the starting point and number of zeros will be the terminating points. But in this problem we don't have any zeros, so I will take that number of poles, whatever the poles will be end at infinity. Each and every problem same procedure. So 0 minus 3 minus 1.5 plus j 1.5 minus 1.5 minus j 1.5, which will terminate at infinity infinity infinity. 4 poles will terminate at 4 infinity points. Okay, next let us move on to step number 3. Step number 3, as I told that you are determine the number of asymptotes and angle of asymptotes. Asymptotes is nothing but the path traced by the root locus plot. Number of asymptotes is given by q is equal to p minus z. P is 4 and z is 0. 4 minus 0 is equal to 4 branches you will get, so that you have to take the value from 0. You should not take 1 2 3 4, you should start from 0. So 0 1 2 3, 3 values, 4 values you should take. After that you have determined the angle of asymptotes. Angle of asymptotes determined by the formula theta a is equal to 2q plus 1 into 180 degree divided by p minus z. Substitute the value of first, you know the p minus z is 4 minus 0 is 4, 180 is common number, so that q 0 you substitute first value is substitute 0, second you substitute 1, third you substitute 2 and fourth you substitute 3, so that you will get the 4 angle of asymptotes. Only change the value of q values matter change ಮಾಡಿ, remaining all same 180 degree. P minus z is 4 plus minus 0 4, everything numerator 4, but only you change the values of q 0 1 2 3. Okay, this completes the third step. Now what is the number of asymptotes as well as the angle of asymptotes. Next let us move on to the top. What is the next is step number 4. Step number 4, you have determined the centroid. Centroid is determined by sigma a is equal to real part of open loop poles minus sigma summation of real part of open loop zeros divided by p minus z. You can see that zeros is only 0 and poles you have 0 minus 3 minus 1.5 plus j 1.5 minus 1.5 minus j 1.5, but you should not consider the imaginary part here. Only you should consider the real part. Real part are 0 number, you should poles this will become 0. You leave it this one 0 because you don't have any zeros here. Real part is first one is 0 minus 3 minus 1.5 minus 1.5. Here you have real part. This is real and imaginary. You take only real part. Minus 1.5 minus 1.5 divided by p minus z is 4. You will get a sigma a as minus 1.5. Okay, that is the centroid. After that, step number 5, determine the segment of real axis on which it belongs to root locus. You take this is a real part and this is an imaginary part. Here you should take only the simple poles, not a complex pole. Here simple poles are 0 and minus 3. I will take 0, minus 3 which ends at infinity. You should not consider a complex pole in the step number 5. Only 0, minus 3 which is ends at minus infinity. So I will take the first distance between minus 3 and 0. Minus 3 and 0, you should determine number of poles plus number of zeros to the right side. You can see that here minus 3 and 0, in between minus 3 and 0, you can see that number of, you leave this minus 3, number of poles is 1, that is 0, plus number of zeros are not present, so I will take 0. So 1 plus 0 is 1 odd. So that odd number, if you can the sum of this number of zeros plus number of poles, you get odd, then the then the root locus will exist. Again I'll repeat this. You take the distance between first two poles, minus 3 and 0. Minus 3 and 0, you should count from the right side that how many number of poles and how many number of zeros are present. You leave this one and you see that number of poles is 1 but zeros are not present. So 1 plus 0 is equal to 1. That is a odd number. 1 plus 0 under 1, it is a odd, so that the root locus exists. Next I will take in between minus infinity and minus 3. Minus infinity and minus 3, you leave minus infinity. Then number of poles is minus 3 is 1 pole, 0 is 1 pole. So 1 plus 1 2 poles plus number of zeros is 0. So you will get a 2. So you can take you take the distance ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. First distance minus 3 and 0 ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. Second distance minus infinity and minus 3 ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. Right side you count. Yeah, you leave this minus infinity to 2 poles. So minus 3 and 0, 2 poles, 2 plus and 1 you don't have any zeros in this problem. 2 plus 0 is equal to 2. 2 is a even number, hence no root locus does not exist. So that you came to know that in between minus 3 and 0 only the root locus will exist. So you have to determine the breakaway point in between these points. Okay, so that next let us move on to the how to determine the breakaway point. Okay, as I told that in between minus infinity and minus 3 you don't have any 2 values, 2 poles plus 0, 2 even, so root locus does not exist. Next let us move on to the next important one is here a very important thing. In case of step number 5, segment of real axis, don't consider the complex pole. Next let us determine the breakaway point. Why do we determine the breakaway point? As we came to know that the root locus will exist in between minus 3 and 0, so that the breakaway point should be there in order to determine where the root locus can be drawn. Okay, so that you can take the 1 plus g of s h of s equal to 0. So 1 plus g of s h of s is the question what they gave, k divided by s into s plus 3, s square plus 3s plus 4.5 is equal to 0. Now on cross multiplication, on taking LCM, this will come to the numerator, s into s plus 3, s square plus 3s plus 4.5 plus k is equal to 0. Now s into s is s square plus s into 3 is 3s into s square plus 3s plus 4.5 plus k is equal to 0. When it comes this side, it will become 0. First you take a numerator, LCM tagonda, it will come here, plus k is equal to this value. If we come inside, we come 0. So you can take first term s square and multiply by this full, and take second this one and multiply by this. S square into s square is 3 power of 4 plus s square into 3s is 3s cube plus 4.5 square plus 3 okay, next this one, 3s into s square, 3s cube plus 9s square plus 3 into 4.5, 13.5 plus k is equal to 0. Now you take the common terms, s 3 power of 4 plus 3s cube, 6s cube plus 4.5, 9.5 is 3, 13.5 square plus 13.5 plus k is equal to 0. You want only the k value, you shift all this to another side. So k is equal to minus s to the power of 4 minus 6s cube minus 13.5 square minus 13.5s is equal to 0. After taking the k value, you have to differentiate that k equation with respect to s and equate to 0, means dk by ds is equal to 0. So on differentiating this one, minus 4s cube, s to the power of 4 and the differentiation ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ 4s cube minus 4s cube, 3 6 18s square, 2 into 13.2, 27 yes minus 13.5 is equal to 0. So you can take, you have to equate it to 0. So I'll get 4s cube plus 18s square plus 27s plus 13.5 is equal to 0. Again it is a quadratic equation, so you have to calculate in calculator. Calculate my equation. Number of degrees is here, it's 3, a value 4, b value 18, c value 2.75 and d value is 13.5. After that in calculator, the roots use you can calculate that you don't get any imaginary part, you can type, it will become 0. So 0 anta barutte imaginary part, so you'll get the real part minus 1.5 minus 1.5 minus 1.5. so you all are valid breakaway points, because as we know that in the step number 5, as we have concluded that the root locus will exist in between 0 and minus 3, so that these are the valid points. This minus 1.5 will all come in between 0.0 and minus 3, so all the points are valid breakaway points. This is step number 6. Let us move on to step number 7. In step number 7, already you know that what is the RH criteria. Okay, so that since s is equal to minus 1.5 lies in between 0 and minus 3, the root locus exists between 0 and minus 3, 0 and minus 3, all the points are valid breakaway points. After that, you have to go for step number 7. Step number 7 means you have determined the intersection point and the value of k. So that, as I told, that you should go through the RH criteria. RH criteria, you should take this equation. Very important that you have to take this equation into consideration. You should also have the k value. This equation that you take that for RH criteria, s to the power of 4 plus 6x cube plus 13.5 square plus 13.5s plus k is equal to 0. Now substitute s to the power of 4, s cube, s square, s to the power of 1, s to the power of 0. First is the 4, it is an even number, so take all the even coefficients. 1, 13.5 k. Next, similarly cube 6 and 13.50. Now cross multiply 6 into 13.5 minus 1 into 13.5 divided by first letter is 6. You will get 11.25. Substitute here. Again, you should not take from here. You should take from here only. 6k minus 1 into 0 divided by 6. You will get k. I substitute here. Again, same cross multiply here. Here to here 11.25 into 13.5 minus 6 into k divided by 11.25. You will get this value. Substitute here. And here you will get the 11.25 into 0 into 6 into 0. You will get 0. And as I told that s to the power of 0 means you directly can put a k anta tagobodu. Okay, only cross multiplication divided by the first letter, you will get this RH criteria. In order to determine the k value, make this s dash rho is equal to 0. S dash rho na 0 ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. So if you make this s dash rho is equal to 0, then you will get 151.87 minus sk divided 6k divided by 11.25 is equal to 0. On cross multiplication, this term will become 0. And then you will get 151.87 is equal to 6k. You want only k value. K is equal to 151.87 divided by 6. You will get the k value as 25.31. After that, you have to determine the imaginary axis point s value, so that you should take this value s square. This is s dash s to the power of 1 and s square plays a very important role in each and every problem. Okay, in each and every problem, this both will plays a very important role. So you can determine by taking the auxiliary equation. Auxiliary equation can be written as 11.25 s square plus k is equal to 0. You should take auxiliary equation, that is 11.25 s square plus k is equal to 0. Now a to the as is equal to 11.25 square plus 25.31 is equal to 0. So 11.25 square is equal to, if it comes this side, you will get minus 25.31. The k value, you know the k value, so it will come minus 25.31. So s square is equal to minus 25.31 divided by 11.25. You will get s square is equal to minus 2.25. So if I take the square root, you will get the 1.5. As I told that s is equal to always plus or minus j omega. Whatever the value you are getting is, it is a value of omega, so that I can take s is equal to plus or minus j into whatever the value you will get, you put that one here. So s is equal to plus or minus j into 1.5. This is the step number 7. Okay, now a very important step, that is angle of departure. What is this angle of departure? As I told that angle of departure is nothing but you have to calculate this one only when the complex poles is given in the problem. You have two complex poles here, minus 1.5 plus j 1.5 minus 1.5 minus j 1.5. ಎರಡು ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಪೋಲ್ ಇದೆ. First you take 0 and first minus 3 and complex pole minus 1.5. this is imaginary axis, so plus j 1.5 here minus j 1.5. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಯಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ minus 1.5 ಬರುತ್ತೆ, plus j 1.5 minus j 1.5. and first complex pole you join. First 1.5 plus 1.5 you join that one. After that you join each and every pole to this target point. You fix this one target point. First complex pole as a target point. First complex pole target point anta ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. So that minus 1.5 plus j 1.5 connect first, and remaining all the poles you should connect this target point. And you mention the angles. This is 5p1. I want this angle 5p1. This is 5p2 because here it is also one of the pole, and this is one of the pole to this target point. This 5p3. 5p1, 5p2. 5p2, 5p3. As I told that 5p2 it is a normal line. You should calculate the angle with respect to this target point. You can see that it is a 5p2, it is a 90 degree, it is normal line, so I can take a 5p2 is a 90 degree, and 5p3 you should calculate. 5p3 you should calculate only this one. Idna calculate ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. 5p3 you should calculate this angle. This triangle you should consider 5p3 this angle. So I can take tan theta. Tan theta is equal to opposite by adjacent. Opposite side is 1.5, so I'll take 1.5. Adjacent side this angle is 1.5, so I'll get 1. 5p3 is equal to tan inverse of 1 is equal to 45 degree. You know that tan inverse is 45 degree, so I can take this angle as 45 degree. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಈ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಂಗಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 5p3 means you should calculate this angle with respect to here you should calculate this one, but here it is coming like this, so that you have to take a quadrants. Here you know that is 0 degree, 190, 180, 270, 360 degree. If it is coming like this, ಈ ತರ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ like this, you have to minus 180 degree with the tan theta. So I can take like if it is coming like this, it is coming to second quadrant, so I can take 5p2 5p1 can be written as 180 degree. This second quadrant is 180 minus tan inverse of this distance. Tan inverse of this distance is 1.5 and this distance is 1.5. So I can take tan inverse of 1 I will get. So 180 minus 45 degree is equal to 5p1. So 5p1 is equal to 135 degree. Understood clearly? This is 90 degree. You have to target point triangles consider ಮಾಡಿ. For this one 5p3 should consider this triangle. Opposite side is 1.5, adjacent side is 1.5. tan theta ಮರ 45 degree ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Next if you target point you fix here, then it is coming like this. This is 180 degree. This end quadrant 180 minus tan theta if you do means you will get this triangle. Okay, so I did this one, so I will get 5p1 135 plus 90 plus 45 degree. Therefore summation of 5p is equal to 270 degree. You will get the 270 degree ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ angles poles angles ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ you will get the 270 degree, and angles of zeros is equal to 0. After that you have to determine the angle of departure. What is the formula to determine this angle of departure is, here you can say that angle of departure is given by summation of angle of poles minus summation of angle of zeros. 270 minus 0. Okay, so phi is equal to 270 anta barutte. 270 you will get. Therefore angle of departure is equal to 180 minus 5. So 180 minus 5 is 270, so 5d you will get as 90 degree. Here you can see that you will get a minus 90. 180 minus 270 is minus 90, so I will take the magnitude minus 90 at first complex pole, and this reciprocal of this one is plus 90 at minus 1.5 minus j 1.5. This is the angle of departure. First angles ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಪೋಲ್ಸ್ angles ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, zeros angle ಇದೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬಿಡಿ 0. ಅದನ್ನ phi is equal to number of poles angle minus number of zeros angle ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. You will get there you will get one value, that is 180 ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So 0 ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So angle of departure is equal to 180 minus 5. 180 minus 5 value is how much? Here you got 270, so you will get minus 90. Whatever the value you will get, first minus 90 at first pole, that is minus 1.5 plus j 1.5, and next you should take a reciprocal of the next sign opposite sign, plus 90 at minus 1.5 minus j 1.5. This is how you determine the angle of departure only if the complex pole is given in the problem. Next you should know that how to determine the stability of the control system. Stability of the system is, first you should know the value of k. K is 25.31. If the k value is less than 25.31, then the system is stable. The system is absolutely stable. If k is greater than 25.32, then it is unstable. It will not withstand, unstable. If k is equal to 25.312, system is marginally stable. This is the last step. Till here it is analytical part. Thank you.